Nobody warns you about dating in your 40s. Hi guys, my name is Monique and welcome back to my channel. Guys, I just finished doing my nails. I'm literally sitting in the car and I just remembered one story time about a guy that I was dating. I mentioned this guy in the last story time. Remember I said I'll pause and I'll tell you about a guy that actually asked me for money. Now here's the story time. So I met this guy and we were cool. We went out on a few dates and this was 2 weeks, 3 weeks after meeting him. And he messaged me. Mind you, we were talking every day and I thought, oh, okay. But I found that he was a little bit eager. So to me, that was a little bit of a red flag and I was a little bit more pulled back. Anyway, so, I met him. Oh, nice, has a job, he's a dad as well, divorced, going through his life and stuff like that. So at this point, when I met him, he told me that he's moving houses. And I was like, oh, fantastic. He was moving from a 2-bedroom into another 2-bedroom house. And I remember advising him and I say to him, you don't live with your kids. The kids live with their mom. The kids only come to you I think every other weekend. So let's say twice a month. And then obviously during the holidays. Technically, I will downsize and maybe move into like a 1-bedroom flat. And then when the kids come, you sleep in the living room and they take the bedroom just to kind of downsize so you can save money. Because remember, guys, divorce is not cheap. You're starting over. You probably have lost the house. The wife has the house because she has the kids. And, you're paying child maintenance and child maintenance is not cheap. He was like, no, I'm not gonna downsize. My kids, this, that, this, and the other. And I said, okay, cool. I was just giving you free advice. Then he found the place, and I remember he called me. I was like, oh babe, I found the place, and I was like, oh fantastic. Do you like it? Yes. Okay, cool. And then one thing I noticed about him, he was like involving me with everything. Okay, I'm going to go and get the washing machine. I want to go and get the fridge. And I'm thinking, why are you involving me? I'm not living with you. I'm not moving in with you. And I now understand why. He was trying to rope me into his little scheme, like make me feel like, oh, we're in it together. I care that I'm involving you, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, then one day he calls me. I'm at work and he said, oh, I need to talk to you. And I was like, oh, okay. In my mind, I'm going through my head. What have I done? Have we argued? Did I say something? Because we were cool. We actually had gone out the night before. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm finishing work at 5. You can call me then. 5 o'clock comes. I didn't hear from him. I'm not someone that will call you. If you say you have something you want to talk to me about, you're going to have to call me. So he calls me about 7 o'clock. That time I'm settled. I'm in my bed because I go gym early morning. So I'm in bed early. So I was like, if he gets to 8 o'clock, this man hasn't called. He has to wait until tomorrow. So 7 o'clock, he calls me and he's like, oh, I need to speak to you. And I was like, yeah, cool. I'm all ears. What's up? And he's like, the place that I'm moving to, I have to pay a deposit, and where I am, the landlord he's kind of delaying me on the deposit. So I'm just wondering if you can loan me the money and I can pay the deposit, and then once I get my deposit back, I'll give you back. Just to humor myself, I said, oh, how much are we looking at? He said £2,000. I said, what? To what? He said £2,000. I was like, wow, I don't have that kind of money. I'm a single mom. I have kids and I don't have that kind of money. Now, what baffled me here is, mind you, I've known this guy 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. I don't know anything about you. I don't know your friends. I don't know your family. I don't know anything about you. We're still getting to know each other. And you felt comfortable enough to ask me for £2,000. Now, I'm not a fool. Even if I had that money sitting somewhere, I'm not giving it to you. I don't know you from Adam. Number 2, you knew you were moving way before you met me, because when I met you in the midst of you moving. So you knew that you were moving. So I'm expecting for you to have sorted out your finances. I'm expecting for you to have sorted out your deposit. Like, what the heck? Anyway, he was like, no, it's a bit complicated and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm sorry, I cannot help you. Because honestly, Men borrowing money to me, it's a no-no unless you're my husband, unless we're in a long-term relationship or something. I don't know, but for me, it just feels awkward. 2 weeks, do you feel comfortable? Anyway, so he was like, oh, don't worry, I'll figure it out. And I was like, yeah, well, figure it out. Anyway, so I think 2 days later, I went to his house. I was working from home, so I went to work in his house, and I was using his computer. When I was using his computer, tell me why, as God will have it, an email popped up, and it was from his estate agent, the agent that he was actually renting out the property from. And the agent was like, oh, Mr. So-and-so, we're just checking the moving process is going through okay, because he was literally moving out the next day or the 2 days. And they were like, oh, we viewed the property and it's all good, because I remember he hired a cleaner to come and clean. And, as the landlord has agreed, your deposit will be deposited back into your account. And I was like, oh, okay. So I honestly didn't say anything. I just left it as it is. In fact, I put it back as unread. So then I came to him and I was like, oh, okay, have you tried sorted out your situation with your deposit? And he said, no, the landlord's not going to give me the money. And mind you, the email said, as per our conversation 2 weeks ago, the landlord has agreed to give you your money, your deposit, and it will be deposited into your account, obviously the day that you move out. And then I asked him and he was like, no, the landlord's refusing to give me the money. They say that there was an issue and that I'm not going to get the money and I'm still down 2,000 and I really want you, I'm begging you, babe, to help me because I really don't have anybody else. Da, 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 da. And I'm sitting there thinking, I read the email and the email said, you're going to get your deposit. As in, you knew about this 2 weeks ago. When you first asked me for this money and made up a lie, refused to give you the money, you knew you were going to get it. And this email today also confirmed. I was like, oh, okay, I'm so sorry. I still cannot help you. I don't have that kind of money. Guys, that was the last time he saw my face. Because I was like, what do you take me for? A fool? You knew you were going to get that money. You were just trying to finesse me. You were not going to pay me that money. You were probably going to take that money and run. That was the last time he saw me. He never saw me again. He never saw me again. I blocked him and I moved on with my life. Because one thing you're not going to do is to think that you can play me. I dated a Nigerian. You are not going to play me. Honestly, that's not going to work for me. But anyway, guys, honestly, dating in our 40s is just as bad. And I'm now seeing through the comment section that dating in the 20s is also crazy. But you know what? I'm still going to keep dating. I'm still out here dating and I have plenty story times to tell you guys. In fact, there's one that happened yesterday that I need to sit down and give you guys a story time for. But anyway, guys, I'm going to end this here and just tell you that be careful out there when you are dating. Because the men there, they need to be given skirts nowadays because they are finessing women like they're women. Just be careful out there. Anyway, until the next time, guys, do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys on the next one. Love and light.